I'm rooting for Brick to definitely make it more than close, but there's challenges ahead of him. I think he's taken some maps, but series have just been foreign to him at the moment. The thing is, you see from these clips, he gets some brilliant highlights occasionally, but the consistency's not quite there. And I want to give him a little bit of extra defense at the moment. This guy's still taking down titles in CTF. This guy's a beast in the team modes, but I think he's just finding his feet at the moment in Duel, despite being a really high-level player.
But that's the thing, you can be an all-rounder and absolutely excel in certain roles. But when it comes down to it, time limit Duel, it's all about being the absolute creme de la creme, the best of the best, right? You have to be unreal at every single aspect of Quake, and that's why it provides us with some really incredible players when it hits the spot just right.
Yeah, exactly. And whereas on Psygib's side, I mean, I've already talked about his prowess in the team modes. This guy's also taken down titles in CTF. Americans have just been brilliant at that, but he's had a bit more of a sort of healthy conversion into Duel. His aim, I think, is best in the Americas, in fact, but it's now combining that with the discipline that you really need, and personal accountability that you have in Duel.
Well, it all just comes down to what you can do on your own, and that's why it's so good to witness a bit of BJ gameplay there, thrown in for good measure, of course, as we definitely saw some damage coming through from that earlier on today. But I feel like to open us off, this one is going to be a little bit of a different tale compared to what we've had the whole day, right? Obviously, even from our head analysts at home that gave us our predictions, we assumed it looked like it was going to be more in the favour of some Frios today. That pretty much did come true. Getting into this, though, I feel like maybe that is going to be carried on.
Yeah, now I think we can see the picks and bans, and we can start to build that narrative a little more and actually see kind of how close it's likely to be getting. So we're on Psygib's map first on Awoken, then Veil, and then Blood Covenant. As for champions, it'll be interesting to see Brick on Anarchy at the end, but it's Anarchy versus Sorlag. I think the silver lining there for Brick is on Blood Covenant, so it's a bit harder to face dive. Especially when you are against a champion that Brick will be using that has the CPM movement. But I'm on board with the rest of the champion picks in terms of how equal it is. Maybe Veil Brick will struggle a little bit more if he's not perfect on his ability usage with Nyx.
I think so. It really comes down to just how well you can actually execute it. Obviously, the champion itself is very formidable. Like, the kit is awesome to play with, but you do have to be on sort of ahead of the curve to actually understand when to use it so effectively. So it could be hit and miss depending on that. It'll be an interesting one. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like in terms of the actual champions he's got there, I'd say it kind of favours him a little bit. Like,
favors
overall,
Brick,
yeah.
From the. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree at all. I just think now, has Psygib made reparations of what happened last week?
Right.
And even if he hasn't fixed all of his mistakes, I mean, is Brick still going to be able to really peak and get the victories that he's so looking for? Because I think he's going to be absolutely buzzing if he's managing to get himself some series wins. But this Psygib, self-proclaimed potentially second best in the Americas because he only lost to Rafa at QuakeCon. He did get 3-8 by Nosva last time round. Over in the QPL, which I had last weekend. Is he slowly taking a little bit of a dive when he needs to really get back on form for the next LAN? It's tough to tell, but we're gauging people's kind of current levels at the moment, and I'm trying not to draw too many conclusions from QuakeCon, but there's a big, massive data there that we can't help but use.
Yeah, that is true. Well, it's a hard one as well because obviously it's the fact that like the two opponents he's actually lost to right now are kind of the big dogs in the scene, at least in the sense of you've got someone that is basically really on an upwards path and is looking to be like the upcoming story of like a lifetime where potentially it could be unstoppable, right? A lot of hype behind him. Everyone seems pretty pumped to see where he's going to go from here. Rafa as well, a household name. I think, most players even that aren't involved in the Quake scene have heard who Rafa is and know what he 100%. Is about because he is someone that has a big legacy behind him. So it's interesting, right? If he's only taken losses to those, that's not too bad. You can take that and really not have your confidence knocked that much, especially when you now get into this week and you're facing off versus Brick. If you go into it purely just off base statistics, it obviously is going to be favouring Psygib quite a lot.
Yeah.
But statistics don't mean everything.
They don't. And if Brick does take the win today, then congrats to him, but also long, hard look at oneself if you're Psygib. Yeah. This is someone he should be getting a comfortable victory with, and I want to actually see some style as well come from Psygib. I want to see discipline, but I want to see those shots. I've been saying he's like the best aimer in America. I mean, I want deliver that.
You want to see that?
I
Yeah.
want to see it. See it on the plate. But we'll find out soon because we'll start the game fairly shortly. I'm just trying to think of some more ways I can defend Brick, but sometimes you have to listen to the stats, Jackie.
Sometimes you do.
And the stats aren't very, very nice for Brick. I'll just try and not to beat around the bush, guys. That's all.
That's what it is. Hard-hitting facts and journalism. That's what we get from Zoo. But let's get into the game and give you what you all want, of course. The bake down between the boys. Oh my
Have fun and
goodness.
die quick, I think Brick said.
Yeah, it looks like it. But it is going to be Brick versus Psygib as we kick this one off. A little bit of wholehearted banter between the boys as we get into some gameplay.
That was almost an issue for Psygib because he was railable at the end, but he delivers it. You know what I didn't want to see, Brick? I didn't want to see you die in the first 15 seconds. This is not what I was looking for. Although Psygib did it very clean, and I also want to see some style from him. But you know, I want it to work for that style. He needs to put the hours in here in this series to deliver. Don't give it for free, Brick.
Let's see if you will be giving away anything else.
I don't want free to be his nickname.
Hashtag free Brick. Psygib, though, waiting to try and give down on him if he can, as he spots him across. Goes for the instant rocket off to try and land the opening shot, but it won't quite connect. Does hear the audio cue, should be able to get a pre-fire out here, but actually, Brick's just playing a little bit of a game of cat and mouse, trying to toy with him right now, lampoon him, if you will.
Good couple of rails, got some resources behind him. Good time to challenge over here. Another rail into the orb. All looked so easy for him just then, but that was very, very swift play from Psygib.
Yeah, that was very well executed. You could see the calculations going through his mind there. Switches back into the rail as well, as he looks to try and see what he can land. If he can forcibly remove Brick's lips into this one. Hammers down with the opening rocket. The ascension shot over the top, back into the rocket to try and finish him, but he can't quite land them right now. Playing a little bit timid as he doesn't really have to over-aggress into this. He's already got 2 frags early on. And he looks to try and get himself a third. The response coming back, though, as he will be pounded in ever so slightly and take a small amount of damage. Gets himself back on the high ground as he's just trying to spot him out. The movement is definitely playing a key effect right here, but it's the battle of the lightning guns, it seems.
Oh, man. The rocket on the back end of that fight. It's a feels bad. Again, going to go through the teleporter. Can try and find him on elbow. Rocket's going to be off the mark, but he may spot out a totem in a second. Though I don't believe he sees the rings the same that we do, guys. That's one thing to note for.
Rocket jump going to put him back into a good position as the movement is elegant. Trying to hammer down with a lightning gun. Will be able to just keep on adding to that as he adds another notch to his kill dealt.
That's an issue there from Brick, is just his timing on the Mega Health. That play makes sense if he has the perfect timing on Mega and he drops into it as it spawns. But otherwise, doesn't work at all. However, you should still be punishing someone who takes the rocket jump from heavy and pushes through the LG ammo. Look at it's just pigeon shooting here.
It really is. It's just so easy for him, and he's keeping it going as well. He really just wants to try and decimate and destroy. Brick is being brutalized right now, as we're already in a 5-0 scoreline.
Oh, botched jump. Just said there's a look of displeasure there at the little roof that botched his jump. Psygib. Oh, sorry, Brick has got some stack to play with, but it's whether or not he can put together a fight that works for him. Psygib's timing is well and truly off. He's like, it's going to spawn anytime now. Anytime now. Anytime now. He somehow still manages to get a mutual frag from that, which I think is astonishing. Brick really should have punished him hard there. At least he does get a nice spawn, gets himself the Mega Health, gets a couple of weapons. So there's the possibility that he can deal some damage soon. However, he will certainly need that rocket launcher.
Yeah, if he's going to get back into the game, it needs to be fairly soon, actually, as he is going to line it up with a lightning gun. Incredible display of damage coming through as he rips his way through the health. Unfortunately, too slow there on the lineup, as he isn't going to be able to get the rail off in time, so Psygib is able to just sort of toy with him.
Doesn't have the rockets. It's definitely a danger. Looking for some of those flicks. He ends up having to back away, not dealing half as much damage as he would have wanted to. And there is the heavy. Psygib looking through. He's just going to orb into it. He's still got so much stack and hits the rocket at the lip of the bounce pad. That's going to be 6-0 now.
Yeah, This is actually quite rough for Brick. He really isn't able to get into the game just yet. We're coming up to the 5-minute mark as well, so half of the clock has already been burnt down through here. Psygib actually receiving the gift of damage back from Brick. He's got him so low. Nearly finishes him off as well, as he's just going to aggress towards him. Knows where he could be, takes out one of the totems. He still had nothing. He wasn't able to find any items to save the day there. He's just going to drop down and blow him straight out of the server.
Is he going to find it through the portal? Okay, no, going through HMG. Now when you're doing when you're turning the opposite way around, you're feeling pretty good. Nice little move across. In position now for mega health. Brick has to make this expensive for him, and he's not really doing that. He did have triple totems for a moment. Psygib just needs to back away, and it looks fine for him. Cute little jump. Couple of rails missing, but I'll forgive him for him. That's a good shot from Brick. He needs more of those.
Just depends if he actually has the consistency there to try and pump up those numbers, because right now they're rookie numbers, Zoot.
More rails. Ooh, that's close. Brick is so low on health. He needs to get out of there. He's got some totems available for him. Oh, God! What a read there from Psygib.
That is dirty.
I feel like we're just connoisseuring Psygib frags at the moment.
We really are. It's like tasting fine wine. We're just enjoying it. It's just on the tip of our lips.
I don't know what happened there. I think he tried to do something like flick rocket. The thing is, it's all in good nature, though, between these guys. These two on the American scene, as well as some of the other players, they know each other so well. So I'm sure at the beginning there wasn't like they're not being rude to each other, despite saying
yeah, it's banter.
It's banter for them. Don't worry. When there's really some like cold-blooded actions, and we'll make sure that we report that. I think the way that Kilson beat Cooler is probably fairly cold-blooded.
Ooh. Close and personal here, though. Both of them in a fairly similar position in terms of the stack, although Psygib is looking to actually really excel ahead here if he can get himself into a good spot, playing around the hidey holes. The bush will come round, lightning gun prepared, firing out the warning shots, but Psygib now has so much more to play with. He's just barely missing these opening shots as well as he backs off. Ooh! That's impeccable, the reposition. That is stellar. Psygib giving it.
There's just... the pressure from Brick is wrong. He's got the lightning gun out when he should be rocketing the orb. Like, he knows to expect it. He knows exactly what Psygib's trying to do, but the way that he's punishing isn't necessarily correct. Now, I would assume that he had the rockets available to him, but if he didn't, fair enough. But if he did, then he absolutely should be using the rockets. Oh.
Trying to get the early opening spawn frag off as well as he punishes out. Looking to do the early damage. The trace across as well. Nice rocket coming through to get him lower and lower. Both of them in a fairly precarious position though, and Brick will finally put himself on the scoreboard.
Comeback is real. Okay, there's a rail. If he can get another, that would really help. He gets knocked off a shot for a second, but still managed to land what he needs. Psygib's just got to be a bit careful. He's sat down on it. Get lightning gun out. Lightning gun out. Rail's good, as there's an escape, and he picks him out of the skies. This is it. Okay, a couple more runs like this. Problem is, time's definitely not on his side, and it's the heavy that's up next, so he's missed a rotation, and Psygib... well, I think Psygib's going to assume that he took it. Or maybe not now. He scanned down over at heavy, and it's like, freebie item. So it's those timing errors that shouldn't be made at this level for Brick.
No, it puts you in such an awful position as well. Makes it way worse than it already needed to be because he's burning through his own time to play with. He's the one that has to be on the ball, but he's looking like he's starting to find himself back on a bit of a pedestal. Gets another frag coming through off the back of the rail. They have been pretty brilliant rails at that, although it's just the fact, it's the sheer deficit that puts him into disarray. It's going to be so hard to get back into the game here purely because you've only got a minute left.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with Brick's mechanical skill. It's just he just needs to chop up that decision making. And I think like theorize how he's applying himself. And this Meg Health's not up for a while. He might end up getting chased in a moment, so he's going to back the hell away. He needs to get himself above the 90 health threshold, which he'll do in a second. And now some major items to work with, so he can look at trying to remedy the score difference. LG's really nice. Does get hit the rail after, I think. But Psygib's been the one who's taken so many resources, so eventually it is just br1ck who looks weaker and weaker, but a lot of damage being done. Almost a flick rail, that was so damn close. br1ck just trying to be aggressive at the end and try to, you know, show what he's made of, but ultimately Psygib just extending the lead.
Yeah, pushing himself further and further forward to be able to pick this one up, as right now it looks like this is going to be the complete shutdown from Psygib and possibly walk away 13-4, although br1ck will at least get himself one more and make it a 12-5 scoreline there in terms of the frag tally at the end of the first map, as it will be picked up by Psygib.
I think fairly expected there. I was hoping that br1ck wouldn't give away so much in the early portions of the game. Look how rail heavy br1ck turned out to be. 2,000 damage he did with the rail in the end. I think that's great, but sometimes the rocket damage wasn't enough. There's so many instances where I thought that rocket or LG could maybe have been a slightly better use for him. I think he usually ended up using the LG instead of when he should be using the rockets.
Yeah.
But you know, fair play from Psygib. He had a healthy start and it kept going throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, it worked very well from him. Obviously, you can see Psygib looking pretty damn accurate, which is what we hope to see in terms of his actual display of lethality. He's someone that is very effective at landing those shots. You know, he is crisp as hell, and that hasn't gone anywhere. Still coming straight back into it. The aim looked poised, movement was on the ball, so if he can keep that up into this series, potentially he's setting himself up for an awful lot of points to be made.
Yeah, and we are going to be going over to Vale next, where we are going to get Eisen versus Nyx. Very curious to see what br1ck's going to be able to do with Nyx there. You do have to somewhat hope for a slow game with her, and really the huge bit is if you do die, and under what conditions is that going to be?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I can certainly see Psygib maybe walking away with it. We need that discipline from br1ck.
Yeah, it's one of those where, especially if you get the early game as well, she's so much more beneficial, essentially just being able to dupe your opponent and escape and just elongate that burn down on the clock. If you're really the one trying to catch up and actually get yourself back into the action, I don't feel like she's as efficient as a lot of other champions are.
Yeah. Whereas Eisen's kind of a staple pick, I think, on Vale. You've got the upper ground position, out the teleporter, turret there, control over mega health, looming over the heavy. It seems kind of straightforward, and it's not really been a lot of expansion, I think, on that particular Eisen strategy, just because you don't necessarily need to on Vale. You do get some players who like to avoid rail room at all costs, because it kind of desynchronizes how you're controlling the mega and the heavy, but it flows really well in this format of duel at the moment, because sometimes you just have to. If you want to pressure your opponent properly, you've got to be everywhere on the map.
Yeah. Which, you know, I imagine at this point as well, with what we have set up from that with br1ck's initial display there going into it, it seemed like he started to get a little bit into his own the later that one went on. I think early game,
yes,
it seemed like he couldn't really come out of his shell.
I mean, I want to say he was playing a little bit better in the later portions of the game, but also I think Psygib maybe took his foot off the gas pedal. And I want to give it to you real, guys. I'm not beating around the bush here.
It.
Yeah, no,
give us the zoot factor.
If Psygib has a start like he did on Awoken, and it is applied in Vale, then, you know, maybe it will take another 7.5 minutes until he takes his foot off the gas pedal.
Right.
br1ck's got to have a good start. That's essential. He needs to get the early frags and need to retain that control.
Hashtag free br1ck. Let's get back into it once more.
I don't know if that's a good hashtag.
As we're going to delve into the action, Psygib versus br1ck as we kick off map 2.
Versus br1ck. br1ck wins.
Let's see if he can, though. Already. Looks like it's going to be a bit more of a slower affair, actually, as he's just creeping around, looking to find himself an opportunity to do some damage from above with a drop down in, scavenging away.
So already he's lost the chance of control on the lightning gun by moving away. I like that he's being proactive and looking for opportunities to get kills, but now you're giving up the weapons for free. At this stage, he now needs to get the mega health without taking damage, and then try and pick a... He doesn't even need to pick a fight at the moment. He just needs to keep the control shared.
As long as they can basically split this in two between them both. Right now, it looks like they're just going to try and completely break Brick down the middle, as Psygib was able to sneak in, get an attack from the rear, and do a fair bit of damage at least to try and open this one up. Brick responding back down as he fires through. Does get the up-close and personal attack. Should find the frag with the rocket instead, though.
Really
had to
good.
back off into that fight. Perfect timing with the Ghost Walk, but it won't matter. He was still exposed, and he is punished because of it, Zoo.
Oh god, that might hurt a bit. I think there's a turret up there. Brick is chasing a little bit. He's not done a bad job at all and still has some health to work with. That last kill, oh, he's actually still going at him? Oh, Brick is nuts. If you can land a rail shot, it can have him. Missing. Psygib can walk away. I think he's tired of gambling on that one. Brick got caught out in the last one. He exposed himself and he still had the half-second window where Nyx couldn't shoot. And Psygib's reaction was so good. He carries him through the air with the lightning gun. Is going to make it 2-0.
Straight burning his way through there to give himself another bit of advantage to play with, the turret getting dropped down as well. Brick waiting right now, not currently moving around as he is just going to be hunkered down in position, eventually starts to fan out once again and go on his quest to try and find himself some more weapons to play with to add to his arsenal. As we are 2 minutes in, Psygib already has those first 2 frags.
Oh, he actually gets the damage payment there. That means that the damage he took is totally negated. And he's going to catch him at the bounce pad. Forces out the Ghost Walk, and Brick realizes he's not going to be able to get onto that Mega Health, and he hasn't given himself time to get out of the room because of that. So that is going to be 3-0. I love how Brick started the map, and even though he died in the first fight, it's just a shame for him that he wasn't able to convert that into an equalization of sorts. So, Brick is under pressure. Oh, I say that, it's just flipped on his head. Another rail could have seen him on the board. Oh, there we go. Let's go, Brick.
If he's going to come into the action, that's definitely a way to do it with style. Although
oh my god!
The response comes back out. It's the turret that tackles him, Zoo. This is not the way these things should go.
He was just enjoying his 1v1 with the turret. You know, you're sorting out admin at that point. You're just getting rid of the thing on the map. Can't say he had the best weapon to do it with. And, you know, while he's in the middle of doing that, Psygib upsets his admin work. Just gets the frag.
He's just ruined it. He's literally come in and rained on his parade. Now he's looking to lightning gun his corpse as well. The rail gun potentially coming out to play. Instead, it's just going to be the bullets that riddle him.
Not the turret!
Not again! Oh, it's the rail! Not like this. Not like Brick.
I think Brick's got a good sense of humor about it, though.
He seems to be enjoying himself, at least. They're both having a good time into the matchup.
Brick still has fun no matter what.
He's a good lad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. Oh, I love that. And Brick, he has got the Ghost Walk, but he's just not using it. And honestly, fair enough at that point. You come off the spawn, you kind of want that still available to you. But now you've used the Ghost Walk, but you've got no health. Where's he going to go collect it? Psygib's going to hunt him down, and that will be another. This could end up getting pretty nasty in just a second. For people under the age of 18, please close your eyes. Because Psygib is a massacre at the moment, that's all I can say.
Bear in mind as well, this is before the 5-minute mark, and he's already picked up 7 frags to play with. So
yes.
Psygib is really giving himself quite a large lead to work with, and it's going to be hard to come back from that. Spots out the head as well as he goes for the boost up, a near miss on the rocket, a follow-up struggle shot there with the rail, and the battle of the lightning guns. This one could be awkward, but it's Brick that gets the kill. Of course, both of them trade it out though at the same time.
Okay, Brick, what can he do off the spawn? He gets himself rockets early on, and there's going to be heavy in a moment. He needs to protect this heavy position. This is really important. He's attacking up at the top, and during that time, he's lost out on the heavy. He does find himself a sick direct. This is a very weird fight.
This is so back and forth. It's like Benny Hill right now. But eventually, Psygib is given another opportunity to just burn his way through him.
I wish that Brick didn't go up the bounce pad by the teleporter exit. Because he absolutely could contest and take the heavy. He just had to land an opening shot, which is difficult with the rockets, but I think at that point you've got to go for damage and you've got to go for control simultaneously.
Connection coming around with the lightning gun. Wants to follow up with the rocket as well. So nice. Brick is so low, but at least he grabs some kind of health to play with. He can use the Ghost Walk to try and get out of there. The readjustment coming around. Psygib knows of his location. Went for the spam off of a rapid rail, but it wouldn't quite connect.
He's just chilling now until his mega health comes up. There we go. And then heavy up straight after. 1 second until that happens. There, he's now found his opponent. Brick made a noise, and now the game's up. Oh, and so's the face.
The point-blank punish into the follow-up rail, the aggression as well, as the Rocketeer himself is soaring high right now. Psygib is definitely leaving Brick feeling sore.
And he can go back on his clear rotation up at the top. This is all too simple at the moment for Psygib. There's not been any like disturbances in how the items are rotating on. You can fight straight through, and I mean, that's just really optimistic thinking, overly optimistic thinking. And Brick, I mean, he's pushed down into the turret. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place.
And the rock has smashed him in the face. So that's not what you want. You never want your face smashed in by a rock. Neither do you want it smashed in by a shotgun, but it looks like that is going to be the case from quite a substantial distance there as well.
Oh! There's going to be another rail in a second if he's not careful. Psygib want to chase it. He might be able to find him down at the lower doorway. It won't be opened. This time he's been playing off the items a little more, but he's kind of got so much freedom on the map that there's just this aura around Psygib at the moment, and Brick cannot go anywhere near through it. Oh, there's the turret again. It's the mortal enemy. And he's been found straight away. There's going to be the Ghost Walk, but he's, again, lost loads of resources. He doesn't have much in the way of weapons, and it's a disgustingly good rail. That's going to make it 15-2 now for Psygib. We're approaching that 2-minute warning.
That is so naughty. That is the cheekiest frag as well to pick up. Just beautiful stuff. It's going to be demoralizing here for Brick. And Psygib is still not slowing down. All he's doing is increasing that tempo, upping that speed, and continuing with a high-octane style of Quake that we're witnessing right now. Wants to finish him off with a lightning gun, but is the shotgun special that he keeps serving up. 2 barrels of pain delivered straight to Brick's veins.
You know, I thought Psygib was going to win this game, but I didn't.
Not like this.
Think it was going to be like this at all. Psygib's just he looks focused. He does everything he needs to. He seems to have a good read on what Brick's doing. And I think, I mean, he doesn't even really need to anymore. Gone the first 4 or 5 minutes. Brick's... He's been at items. I think his timing has been good on the map. But I don't think he's been... He's not been able to build up the opportunities. He's not able to do that out-of-control damage, which is a sort of an essential factor needed when you are going against, you know, players the level of Psygib.
I think this is the biggest kill tally we've seen as well in today's series of games, which still just keeps getting added to us. It's now up to 19 at this point for Psygib, and he's got a whole nother minute to play around with. Ooh. And again, he's going to come through, just beating down.
I'm thinking 22. 22, I reckon.
Full Taylor Swift.
That's a reference beyond me, I'm afraid.
It's, well, because I don't know about you, but I think that Psygib's feeling 22.
I don't understand the question.
It's fine. We'll work on it later. 30 seconds left, though.
Yeah, I need some studying, I'm sure.
We'll do some Taylor Swift learning courses.
I want to prod my eyes out with a knife.
Well, that's essentially what Psygib's doing to Brick right now, as he has just been destroying him. There is no chance for him to witness anything but his own demise in this one. He's trying to find a foot to rail clean off, but instead he's going to go for the backdoor approach, launches out the turret, looks to get the corner off, surely not!
Oh, it's going to happen!
Oh, why?
That was mean. That was unnecessary, okay? The rest of it was fine, but that's crossing the line right there.
That's not acceptable.
We've got... the funny thing is like the damage difference isn't even that high at all. It's only, what, 800 maybe? But the control difference is just so different. Brick needed to do the... He was doing damage in the later stage of the game, but when it didn't really matter even that much anymore. He needs to find the out-of-control damage early on where he can actually be challenging head-to-head, maybe only 2 frags behind or 3 frags behind, where you're still really contesting hard. After you pass the sort of 7 or 8 frag difference mark, then you're giving yourself a really hard game.
Yeah, you're just going to make your life such a struggle there, really, when you get into it at that point. And it's rough for Brick. Again, another loss coming through at this point. Psygib, however, really putting himself into a power play position, obviously bouncing straight in with 2 big wins there. If he can take this for a 3-0, it's a ridiculous result to add to the total tally that seems to be what we've seen an awful lot today. So it's quite required, actually, to put yourself into a good position because of the sheer amount of 3-0s we actually had this evening.
Yeah, indeed. And Psygib's going to be happy with the points that he's accumulating, but I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for Brick to pop off, okay?
Yeah.
There's going to be a time and a place, and he'll do it.
He'll come down like a ton of bricks.
On it, just caveat, maybe. To my clause.
Potentially. It's, yeah. Citation needed.
Potential's just like such a horrible word, though, isn't it?
What?
It's like, if you have potential, it's like, you know you can be good.
Well,
but I was told at school I had potential. I think it ruined my life.
I think you've done well. I'm proud of you.
Okay, but if I wasn't, potential is a killer word, okay? Yeah. It's actually like the most passive-aggressive diss you can ever give, in my opinion.
You've got a lot of potential.
Yeah, it's super passive-aggressive.
I don't feel like it is. I've never taken it for that, yeah.
Do you think it's a compliment?
Yeah, sort of, because it's like, you know, there's a lot of potential in you.
No, I don't like that.
No?
It just feels terrible.
Oh, I think, you know, you're resplendent for potential. You know, you absolutely just ooze potential.
Yeah, but that's not, because that means you could be, but you're not.
Exactly.
Like, but you're not, is the thing. Apparently, Psygib doubled his frags in that match alone,
which is pretty outrageous.
So I think he's now rivaling Garpy. He's up to 44 at the moment. I know in Garpy his series, I think he only accumulated something like 10 in total versus Wenger.
Right.
So Psygib could possibly break the frag lead in our online section.
Big man Psygib coming in strong there.
But we do have another map to come. Let me see if I can lock down that one. I think it's Blood Covenant.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to be having Anarchy and Solak, which is actually going to be really fun to watch. But Brick is playing Anarchy. If his movement is up to scratch and he's able to play that cat and mouse game that you kind of need to sometimes versus a Solak, then I think he's got a chance to keep it close. But if the movement's not on and Psygib's is, then I think we could see Psygib getting the new leader, frag leader board. Words.
Yes. No, I agree. I feel like it's at that point, right, where it's kind of going into it. Unless Brick really has like some magic up his sleeves that he hasn't been pulling out, and now all of a sudden he reveals that he's a magician, does a load of balloon animal related tricks, I feel like potentially he could come in and smash it. However, it really just comes down to that individual movement on that character, because you do have a fundamental edge if you can excel at it. Yeah. We've seen it in the past. We know that it can happen, but it just looks like, you know, Brick, he has moments where he perks up towards the end of the game, but it's kind of too late because of the sheer early game lead that's being found. I mean, you just see how much of a total tally is actually being found in today's games. It's just unrealistic. Like, Psygib is literally just out of the world right now when it comes to it. Like,
completely.
He's just absolutely just gambling.
And I'm worried now in Blood Covenant because for Anarchy versus Solag, they've both got great movement, right? But you can only really capitalize on Anarchy's movement if you've got control. That's where you can start rocket jumping around. Yeah. Whereas with Solag, you just need to pick up a rocket launcher and you can already do whatever you want. So Brick needs control. Otherwise, this is going to be another bloodbath.
Well, let's see if Brick can get himself back in the game, or if this is going to be a Solag soaring to victory for Psygib, so he can walk away 3-0 with this one. We're into the final map here between these two incredible gamers. As we kick it off with an awful lot of damage being distributed between them both, Psygib trying to find that pick across to see if he can take down Brick, spamming his way through him. He's already incredibly low.
Oh, we're going to get follow-up over here. Brick not dead in the first 30 seconds. This is good news. Oh god, broken too soon. Brick has actually got a good stack, so it is Psygib who needs to run at the moment. We're going to get that good start from Brick, I'm feeling it. Mega's going to be up in a moment. Brick, can he get here to punish? He's got the machine gun, not a bad weapon to have at all. Psygib not quite landing the shots, does get a rail at the end. Brick has to just be careful. He's playing with fire up at the top. They're just chasing each other around, and Brick has got himself first blood. Now what can he do with this?
He add on to it as the aggression's coming through, although his stack was so low off the back of that. Psygib straight back into effect, was able to grab himself a nice mosey of items on the way over. Graceful movement ever as well as he gets back into it. Could there be another humiliation? No! It's going to be the tactical vomit that comes through. The cheeky chunder does him in.
I mean, oh, what a flick there. br1ck had to have good timing on the heavy, which he kind of did, but he's timing that sort of vague zone of, if I'm there, plus or minus 3 seconds, it's fine. No, he had to only go there as soon as it's up. Yeah. Because Psygib chased him and it's like, oh, now I'm still waiting 4 seconds for the heavy armor. I have barely any health as it stands. You're going to go down to the, the good aim of Psygib.
Ooh, that's another frag being picked up. The fact that br1ck started this with 1 and now in a matter of seconds with Psygib there finding himself 4 in total, it's already a bit of a rough start. You can only hope that br1ck might have some more to play with, although at this point, Psygib dropping down, going to realise where he is actually coming from as he readjusts to try and get himself back up towards the high ground. The fight kicks off, but he takes him down, and that's 5 in a row now for Psygib.
His control is only going to continue. He didn't have much health, but things are changing. Like the rocket jump. Oh my god, he still gets the direct rocket! Mega's going for the moment, and he just banishes him just before the spawn. Lovely movement. He had to make up for a couple of little bits and bobs, but he did that flawlessly. And now br1ck is just trying to escape a little. Oh, no rocket jump. He just looks at the floor with moderate sadness.
A single tear in his eye. Ooh, the flick up coming around, trying to use that lightning gun to the best of his ability to really put a zap on things and try and slow down the combat that comes through. Gets his armor back up as well, so Psygib now in a very good spot in terms of his over HP pool, but he's going to start to lose a little bit of that. A love tap coming through from br1ck there on the booty.
So if we can get a couple more rails, that should be the advantage that br1ck has.
Oh.
If he's got the railgun, he needs to be winning the rail fights.
Oh.
And he's absolutely not. We're getting some wonderful damage by Psygib. Getting the rocket jumps working too. Oh no. Is he going to get him from this? No, there's a blood pool, so that's going to heal br1ck's acid damage. But another rocket jump. And you can see here like how freely he's doing these jumps because he's got that stack to work with. He's got more control than br1ck does. And he's getting it back onto every single item. So Mega's going to come up, and now... Oh, br1ck does make a last-ditch effort to pick it up, and he gets it. He is actually favored now to get the kill. Rocket is spot on. That's more like it. That's the kind of item pressure that we need to be seeing from br1ck. And why, actually, I think that he's been not as successful as he should be.
Yeah, it's very, very true. At this point, though, it's the fact that Psygib, he's got a good stack to play with. br1ck actually has a little bit of firepower at least. He's been able to grab himself the weapons that he wants to work with. The rail's in possession. He's got the lightning gun, although he only has 8 rockets left. But the rail could be the difference maker, although the rocket is what's causing the chaos. But Psygib, he's just going to overthrow instantly. Hits him with the backbreaker, and that's a 7-2 scoreline now, Zoot, as we're close towards the 5-minute mark.
Sort out these rocket jumps, Psygib. Come on. Oh, that was off. And Nailgun's super effective versus a Sorlak.
He nailed that one.
I won't even justify that. Just gonna find him again. I love the nail pick. Psygib, I don't know what we're watching now. This is like some kind of circus skills of sorts. I think they're just like, oh, I love the movement on these characters. Let's just have some fun.
It kind of has really been a display of what like the movement can be going into this.
Yeah.
Both of them have been so graceful. It's like they're just playing bunny hop maps.
Ooh, disconnect a little. br1ck's actually not in a bad place. Psygib's got to be really careful what he does because he's only 3 ahead. He's going to get the Mega, but that's still not necessarily enough. Oh, okay, rail. Now it's flipped really hard. And that's all it takes. You pick up one item, land a rail on an Anarchy, and boom. Should be br1ck going down in a second. Just trying to strafe his way out. Can he make it? Yes, he's done it.
Survival of the fittest right now. More like survival of the fastest. Although the damage is coming through, br1ck incredibly low. Somehow keeps himself up.
No, he's gonna die!
But he walks through. No, br1ck! Oh.
Psygib was so low, like his damage was great, but if he had the injection, he heals himself and he's fine. The alternative option is there was a health bubble beside him, but if he walks there, he's probably dead anyway. thing is, Psygib was so weak at the end of that br1ck has a chance to come back into this. This is definitely the closest game that we've had at the moment. That's it. I want to see this kind of damage.
Ooh. An unorthodox approach, but one that doesn't really work out too well at all there for Psygib after the initial confrontation as he backs off and tries to find himself a little bit more to play with. That is just what the Doctor ordered though, however, as he grabs that health to play with, now in a position to try and land a rail as he's firing one across, casts it out, but it's not quite going to connect.
He knows where he is. Ooh. And he's just taking away all the stack that br1ck kind of needs. He's going to meet him up there. It's like, hello, buddy. And again, this is br1ck just getting on an item well before it spawns. He has no place there. And there's so many items. I think there's been a full rotation of light armors, mega, and heavy.
Some of these shots have been so incredibly close. Just near misses that are coming round. As he looks to try and find these shots across, spamming it out, the br1ck will take him down. The lightning gun is going to be very, very effective for him there.
That's a good punish. br1ck was, Psygib was wandering around with only his gauntlet or machine gun. Need to punish it. Heavy's still up. Oh, don't miss the jump. I think take a longer route around. Get yourself more ammunition on the weapons, and then just go ham. You're not cooler. Nail these jumps.
Not too much of a difference really between them in terms of kills. You could still definitely come back from this if br1ck is able to start getting some momentum behind him. Although it's the fact that Psygib is playing it smart at this point, keeping himself moving, basically playing a game of Mario Kart between the two of them, and he is in first place right now. But let's see if a blue shell can hit him out of nowhere as the drop is going to come down. br1ck, he grabs the extra armor to play with as he puts himself into a healthy position. The rocket should gift him a frag, although he isn't going to be able to pick it up. Psygib, he gets away. There's no gibbage today.
This is some like Wesley movement in the air. Nice little dodge there from br1ck. He's got a chance to pick this up. I think that was a cute little rocket jump to try and not do too much damage. Oh, the defensive shots. Shutting down this chase temporarily. But there is going to be heavy in a moment, and br1ck now is actually going to come at it at the right moment. There, that's what I want to see. Now he's got to just run at Psygib. Just run, don't stop. Rush Psygib. Never stop.
He has to.
Maybe get rail though.
There's literally no time to play with here. I mean, he finds the armor at least, so he's got that to try and work with. He's got the rocket and the lightning gun maybe to try and give him a tactical edge. Let's see if he can actually try and hit something here, though, if he can even get close enough, because at this point, Psygib is literally gone. He is nowhere to be seen, but finally the confrontation kicks off, spits in his face, and runs away once again.
Go back to rocket jumps and just going. Get the railgun. Please get the railgun. Please get the railgun. Get the kill. Oh, I mean, he got there. But he needed the rail so he could, so that when Psygib's running away, that he's got a way to get some fadeaway damage reliably. Heavy machine gun's okay for it, but you're probably going to be limited to 15 to 45. And well, Psygib's kind of putting this series to bed as well, as he will be getting a much better week compared to the last. He's looking at 8 points.
Yeah, the movement is beautiful as well there from Psygib, and the aim has just been crisp central. Some of the shots he's been sitting have been magnificent at this point. In 5 seconds time, he is going to be claiming all of those additional points and walking away with a 3-0 here versus br1ck, as everything is coming up Psygib. And
the WP's out as well. That was the most fun game of the series. That was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot, but I felt like there was a bit of chaos. br1ck just needs to be continuing to pressure on the items when he's not going for them himself. He needs to make sure that Psygib's not getting stuff for free. And when he's going for an item that's in a very dangerous spot, especially the heavy armor on this map, you've just got... It's not just about timing, okay, when does it spawn? When does it spawn? I know exactly when it spawns. It's about when do I actually go there, if I even can. Do I have the weapons to defend myself? Like, what's your... There's so many things you have to think about when you're going for the item. You can't just stand there and wait for it to spawn for a second, even though you know it spawns in a second.
yeah, you have to have the viable